Senator Roberts.
Thank you, President. My question is to the Minister representing the Minister for Climate Change and Energy, Senator McAllister. Minister, during evening and morning peak hours, electricity generation from industrial solar and wind averages just 10% of rated capacity because solar doesn't work in the dark and wind goes quiet at night. Big batteries can transfer electricity from daytime to the evening peak. Minister, how much battery capacity is your government planning to build to maintain electricity supply between sunset and sunrise?
Thank you, Senator Roberts. Minister McAllister.
Thanks very much, President, and I thank Senator Roberts for the question. Well, the senator is right to point to the fact that Australia's electricity system is changing. We have, as I think most senators understand, a fleet of ageing coal-fired power stations that require replacement, and I can tell you they are not getting any more reliable. They are not getting any more reliable. And in fact, over the last year, I don't think there's been a day when we haven't had a circumstance where at least one of the coal-fired power generators in the national electricity market has been offline for one kind of maintenance or another. And of course, this arises because we went through nearly a decade when the coalition, while in government, did not land an energy policy. 22 policies, none of them landed. And our task
Minister McAllister,
as government—
please resume your seat. Senator Roberts.
Point of order, President. Standing Order 72.3c says answers shall be directly relevant to each question. I asked about battery capacity, how much battery capacity your government is planning to build to maintain electricity supply between sunset and sunrise.
Thank you, Senator Roberts. I will draw the minister to your question. Minister McAllister.
Thanks very much, President. And of course, our task is actually to restore some measure of order to the energy system so that the investors—
Order on my left.
The investors who build the generation capacity that is necessary to power homes and businesses have the confidence to invest. And that is what the Capacity Investment Scheme has been designed to do. We have just been through a round of the Capacity Investment Scheme where we received very significant and committed to underwriting very significant battery capacity, because we do understand the significance of this technology. What the experts tell us is the most cost-effective way to establish the national energy market that can meet the energy requirements of Australian homes and businesses is a combination of wind, of solar, of batteries and of gas. And that is the policy settings that we are putting in place to meet those requirements.
Senator Roberts, first supplementary.
Minister, you couldn't tell me the battery capacity your government is planning to build, so you may not be able to answer this question. But let's just say yes or no, please. What is the capital cost of that battery backup, and how much of that bill will taxpayers pay? Simple.
Thank you, Senator Roberts. I'll just wait for silence, particularly on my left. This is Senator Roberts' question. Minister McAllister.
Thanks very much, President. Well, as I have indicated previously to questions asked by Senator Roberts in this chamber, the cost of the transition is regularly estimated out to 2050 by AEMO, and it is included in the Integrated System Plan, which is regularly published and updated. Different states have different arrangements in terms of the ownership and investment in generation, and so the investment that will take place will look different depending on the ownership arrangements that are in place across the national electricity market. However, we understand that there is a measure of support required from the Commonwealth Government, and it is why we have put in place a capacity investment scheme which aims to provide support for those who are seeking to invest in new capacity, whether it is in batteries or other forms of generation in the national electricity market.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Roberts, second supplementary.
Thank you, President. So the minister cannot tell us the battery capacity required, nor the capital cost of that battery backup. So, Minister, AEMO is working off a figure of 60 gigawatt-hours of storage at around $1 billion an hour, which is $60 billion. Minister, how much will electricity prices and supermarket prices rise as a result of having to spend this staggering amount of money?
Thank you, Senator Roberts. Minister McAllister.
Thanks very much, President. Well, the one thing I can say is that the cost that we will take advice from the experts about the optimal investment that's necessary to build out the national electricity market. And it's a different approach than the one taken by those opposite, because right now we have a coalition government whose plan is to invest taxpayers' money in the most expensive
Minister, please
form.
resume your seat. I'm waiting, Senator McKenzie. Senator Roberts.
Point of order, relevance. I didn't ask about the coalition government, as you said. I asked about the Labor government now.
I will draw the minister to your question, Senator Roberts, and while I have the attention of the chamber, I will ask those senators, particularly on my left, to listen in respectful silence. Minister McAllister. Senator Thorpe, that includes you. Order. Minister, please continue.
Thanks very much, President. A senator asks about our plans, and the Capacity Investment Scheme will deliver 32 gigawatts of renewable and clean dispatchable capacity to fill emerging reliability gaps. And the truth is that that will put downward pressure on prices, because one of the consequences of the failed policies of those opposite is that we do have capacity capabilities that need to be filled, because energy capacity is leaving the market and it has not been replaced, and we are taking the steps necessary to replace.